I'm moving the camera so they know you're not frozen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like...
You guys froze?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, you're froze. What's up, everyone? How's everybody doing this fabulous Monday morning? How are you doing, Fernando?
Oh, wonderful, dude.
Excited about tonight?
It's amazing, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. You know, why not? I guess. Good answer.
Are you guys not ready for Monday?
Can you ever really be ready for Monday?
No, not really.
I know. Kind of sucks. Look at these things. Isn't that awesome? Now, the sad thing is that the speakers are actually fine, but the surround is just roasted. And then it has these little tiny POSs here, and tweeters are okay. But look at that. That totally sucks.
Yeah.
And it's like a stupid ohm load. So it's not like you could just throw a normal set of 6x9s, you know, like these in there, because that would be awesome. But nope. That's going to power them. So we're taking out the factory amp. I haven't even told you what kind of car this is going in yet. They don't even know what it's going in. It's going in your favorite car.
Woohoo! I love that car. Can't wait. Not really.
Today we're working on the SC430.
That's crazy. Exactly, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have an SC430 in. It's not an F-150.
No,
I would rather be working on an F-150. There's no doubt about
no
it.
Challenger. No, I wish.
Soon. Yeah, we're almost wrapping that. So this is the back here. In the SC430, if you've never caught the video on it, it's just always fun. Every speaker in it's dry rotted. It's like the ohm loads on every speaker is ridiculous, so you can't just drop new speakers in and call it a day. But that area right there is where the factory amp was, and so that Audison is going to fit there perfect. There's a lot of pieces you have to get to work in this. There's data that passes through the amplifier, so you have to do wire jumping back here to get the rest of the system to still work.
Before you leave, somebody asked about the ES350, the Lexus. Where's the amplifier in that? It's in this side right here.
Yeah, normally, so it's normally here.
Like in this part.
It's normally there, or it would be there. You know, so if you're looking at the car, it would be tucked up into the panel here, or right here in this area. Is typically, there's only so many places Lexus puts things. Here, or right here.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Those are the three spots that's where you look to find out. Now with this has this giant antenna here that's like up to here, so we put a toggle switch on that. But this is nice because we're actually redoing all of the speakers in the doors with the Audison Prima. So we have the Prima tweeter here and the mid-range. These are going to be off of channels 1 and 2, so there's a crossover located right here for the tweeter. And that's how the factory has it hooked up with the factory plugs that we reused. This, of course, is a custom mount for that Prima 2.5 to line up in and go back into the factory mount. And then the mid bass will be on channels 3 and 4. 5 and 6 will be the rear, and then 7 and 8 will be bridged to the subwoofer that we'll be putting in to power the whole system up. And it's a little tiny 8-inch, of course. And that'll be the whole thing. He's already got that door done there. Steering wheel controls don't work right now from the factory. You know, you got a lot of funness you have to do in here. There again, there's a bunch of harnesses that you have to loop together if you're not using the Beat Sonic piece, which we're not using in this one because we're not trying to retain the factory amplifier or the steering wheel controls. So there's what they call TX and RX wires that have to be twisted together. And then there's a resistor that goes between them, and then this loop here is part of that. This is all taped up. And what that does is that if you don't do that, then you can't retain the top screen. So if you're not, like, if you don't ever want to open this up or do anything with it, get to the maintenance or anything, then you don't need to do any of this stuff, like retain the DVD player or the navigation or any of that. You can take all that crap out and then just leave this closed all the time. It won't work. But naturally, having it open and closed, people always want that. So you have to jump through a bunch of hoops to get it to do that. Let's take a look at the radio. Man, choking on the Chex Mix. No, we do a lot of work to make this look a lot better. If you'll notice this, there's this foam up here. Actually, we pull this whole assembly apart, all of it, remove all of these pieces, and get down to the actual metal cage that's underneath it. And we remove a whole half-inch across the top that's all jagged and whatnot, so that you get this nice solid line here. And then we paint the whole thing black because it's silver. And then we put foam in there, and the foam is notch cut. You can see the notch cut there and there because there's arms that are going on this. These arms here need to be able to clear it, but that way when it sits in the dash, which it's going to sit just like that, you don't see this nightmare. I can't tell you how many times we have guys that come in that have SC430s and someone just screwed the whole thing up and it looks terrible, and they're like, can we make this look better? And you're like, yeah, we can. So the door will still open and close like an SC430 is supposed to. Lunch bag, happy thoughts. This is the giant Mark Levinson amplifier that was in the trunk, buried up underneath all of that. So this is coming out. The radio is obviously coming out. And then we're going to use the Audison Prima 8-channel here, this little guy. Pretty cool. So this will go right into where we need it to power the whole thing. It has a full DSP. So we have 8 channels of DSP. Each channel has 10 bands of DSP along with time limit, crossover, and all those other fun things. That's pretty awesome. Fun to play with for sure. And then, so the 2.5s do come with these brackets. So, which is nice. But I'll tell you who else comes with these brackets. Audio Frog comes with these brackets too. And there is a bit of contention about that, which we won't get into on here. But it's kind of nice. They didn't fit for our application. This is the harness that I just got done doing this, got this all set and ready to go. So this will plug into the factory. These are all our pigtails to go off to anything we need. So we have the amplifier output, a constant 12 volts, a reverse trigger in, and then accessory and ground because it is getting the EchoMaster backup camera. So these 3 things. The reason why we've added in a constant 12 volts output, just in case we need it, is because this radio, the Kenwood here, will do a dash cam. It's the 9907XR. We'll do a dash cam. And then this output is for the switch we're adding for the power antenna to have it stay down. So it's kind of ridiculous how long it is. Yep, there's those crappy speakers again. So yeah, that's what we got going on here today. Question, would you say most Pioneer NEX start clipping at 38? Yeah, it's the same circuit in all of them, so they'll do the same thing. Yeah, and that's what we found. I mean, the really inexpensive models might do it faster. Hey, come here a second. Oh, are you done? Let me know when you're done. We got a box we got to open.
Oh, yeah, hang on.
No, take your time. Finish up.
Okay.
You're good. Now, if you want more output out of your Pioneer, then pick up a Matrix from Audio Control. I had to look at the box. We have them back here. So pick up a Matrix. That'll allow you to get better output, and it'll be louder and sound more sexy. Morning from Australia. That's some sexy Audison gear. That is some sexy Audison gear. I'm excited to do this. This was one of the systems that Fernando and I, because we do SC430s a lot now, which, whatever. And one of the problems that people always, it's like, well, what if I want to replace the stereo? Most people don't. Most people don't play them that loud, so believe it or not, they don't notice the speakers are rattling because they're playing it, it's like Sunday golf cars. But, so we were like, all right, we need to come up with a solution that will fill all these holes. And the Prima system was an idea we came up with about 3 or 4 months ago. So we're finally getting to do one, which is kind of cool, because it is expensive. And it's a 2006. So, but guys love these things. What high pass do you recommend for 6.5-inch coaxial? We always start at 80. Always start at 80 hertz. It's a good place to start. You're going to cross your subwoofer over somewhere around there so they blend well together. Now, depending on the type of music you listen to, you kind of got to keep an eye on that. So 110 if you're a bass head, 80 if you're not. And it also depends on the level of 6.5 you're using. When's the next amp review? So we are going to be doing a bunch of amp dynos for Kenwood here in the next week. Filming them for them, meaning we have they want us to amp dyno all their amplifiers. It's for a project that we are doing with them at the Mobile Solutions Master Tech Expo. And because we're going to film them all, we're going to have all that footage that we can use on our own to do everything we want with. So right now, those are going to be at the front of the list. However, as soon as Fernando gets done with that door, I'm going to show you, was it February, March?
So somebody asked about...
April. Hold on.
Somebody asked about the RP5 GM11.
RP5 GM11.
Interface. If you're familiar with, if you saw, the reverse light wire fit the back cab camera and the pink wire for the BSS.
Yeah.
Worked as a start.
Work what?
As a start.
As a start?
Started.
Yes, the car has to be on and running.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about pack harnesses really quick, since Fernando read that. Okay, two things. One, stay on, because we're going to open this box right here, and that is going to kind of go back to the question about when we're doing our next amp review. You're going to want to see what's in that box, because it is going to be an amp review, but it's also going to be something cooler than that. That's going to happen starting in March, which you guys are going to like for sure. So hang on to that. But back to the RP question real quick. PAX RP modules, GM only, don't make any sense. So there's usually a pink, a green, and a purple white, or a red white, a green, and a purple white. And those three wires are supposed to be speed sense, reverse, and parking brake. I can tell you right now, depends. The instructions don't always match what those three wires do. And so what we do is anytime we're doing one of those modules is we go into the car, we plug it in, start up the car, and we use our digital multimeter to check and see which color is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. And then we cut and resolder it so they match the standard color code, so that purple white is reverse, pink is VSS, and the light green is brake. You do have to have the car running, because in some instances the reverse trigger will not work unless the car is running, or the factory camera will not come on unless the car is running. So that's kind of what's going on there. Now back to that box that Fernando is conveniently over there looking at. I don't think there's any addresses you have to worry about. So you'll notice it says Ground Zero. Ground Zero is, we do a lot with them. This is from HKI, which is the company here that brings them into the United States. You can go, if you're trying to find some Ground Zero stuff, they do have a dealer locator on their website. But let's take a look at what we got in the box. So, because we're going to be hanging out with them, they sent us some hoodies. But you want to see what's here. Trust me. Just bear with me on this one. So they sent us some hoodies. They sent us some shirts. You guys don't get those. They sent us some jackets. Now, Tommy Who hooked us up with some jackets, and Diogo, thank you, Diogo, for these. These are awesome from Ground Zero. I've been, believe it or not, I own hoodies, and I've been trying to buy a new jacket, and Tommy was like, don't. I got something for you. But now with that out of the way, all right, so they called us the other day after we got done doing the uranium stuff, and, oh, there's more.
I like it.
Well, yeah. So, those go in the IRTA2 boxes. Anytime you buy an IRTA2, you get a little present. So, after the uranium amp that we just reviewed, Diogo called Tommy and was like, hey, man, I got an idea what I want to do with them next. And I was like, okay. So these are the new Radioactive series amplifiers. We have a 4-channel, which is the GZRA4HD, and we have the mono block, which is the GZRA2HD. This one, oh, it's a 2-channel, my bad. So, it's a mono. So this one is 4x175 at 4 ohm. I don't care about 2 ohm. And this one is bridged at 4 ohm, 900 watts, according to this. Now, you asked about what we're going to amp dyno. We will be amp dynoing both of these amplifiers, and we'll be putting them into the lab. But here's where it gets really good. Once we're done, we're going to be giving them away.
What?
We're not keeping these.
What?
Diogo wants to give them away.
Oh,
so he's like, once we're done with all the video, and we've had all the fun, and we've done the dyno, and we've done all that. So sometime in April, these amplifiers, now here's where it gets... This is really cool, okay? Mm-hmm. Follow me on this one. What we're going to do is, just like the last Ground Zero amplifier, we put it on a big amp rack, and we wired it all up and all that funness. We're going to be using their wire, so HKI has their own wire, which is the 4-connect wire here. Mm-hmm. So we're going to use whatever we can of the 4-connect wire.
Yep.
It's a full wire kit, so there's like 18 feet of nonsense and all that other fun stuff there. Distribution blocks and all that. So we're going to wire it up onto an amp board. And you're going to get all of that, okay? So you're going to get both amps, you're going to get the amp board, you're going to get the wire.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. You're going to get the whole thing.
Whole
so we're going to take these out, we're going to hook them up, we're going to dyno them, we're going to put them in the car, we're going to listen to them, and then we're going to pull them out of the car, put it into a big box, and ship that to somebody that wins.
Yep.
So somebody is getting both of these amplifiers in April. Don't know
who.
We'll
let you know how to enter for this, but not right now.
Yeah, not at the moment. So somebody's going to win these.
Pretty cool.
I'm pretty excited because I like, you know us, we like giving away free stuff.
Look at that.
So we'll do the work, but you get the
tiny one.
Yeah, they're small. I know, right? That's pretty cool. Yeah. So who's excited about that?
Woohoo! I'm going to
Hey, Morel, what's up?
I'm gonna taste it first.
My amp, Christian, my amp board is 14x33. Relax. Who knows? But yeah, so these are going to be giveaways. Once we're done with the video, we'll take them out and they go to somebody. We're going to probably shoot the video sometime in March, sometime in April, because we just got off doing the big GZ thing. I don't want to do another one right now. So we're going to just set these on the back burner for right now, and you guys are lucky enough to be the only ones that know what's going to happen. So thank you to HKI and Ground Zero for entrusting us with these products to have a lot of fun with, and of course, for us to be able to share them with you guys, which is even cooler in my mind because, you know, all I want to know is who do I send the shipping bill to?
Tommy. That would be Tommy. No, that would be Diogo.
I don't care. I just don't want to pay for the shipping.
Diogo will pay for it.
Yeah, so that's what's coming up. So super excited about that. I can't wait. So after Knowledge Fest, after the Master Tech Expo, once those are out of the way and we're done, we're all caught up with the nonsense there. Somebody's gonna win these.
Somebody's gonna win GZ.
Yep. So that's what's happening. And of course, it's Monday, which means at 6:30 tonight on Facebook, we'll be doing the show, Carstera Talk with Dean and Fernando.
That's right. Yeah.
Pretty excited.
I'm excited.
You excited?
Yeah.
I knew you would be. I always like it when we're going to give away free stuff. Who doesn't like free stuff?
Yeah.
Do you have a 3D printer file for speaker rings for AudioFrog GB25 or GB10? We don't have any 3D printers. We just use a laser. So nothing on that. Now the GB25s do come with, where'd that bracket go?
Bracket went all the way to this side.
Yeah, so the GB25s actually come with
a bracket.
This bracket. So, that's part of contention between Audison and them because they stole it. So they borrowed, they copied, whatever. I don't know. Somehow they're identical. I don't know how that happened.
I don't want to get in.
I don't want to get involved in that. But anyways, they do. The AudioFrogs do come with a cool bracket. So, I'm excited. I'm glad you're excited. Don't worry about shipping. I'll come by and pick them up.
I have a nice set of coaxial speakers. I want to remove the tweeter if it's possible, and I only want the woofer. So, Oscar,
it's not that it's impossible. It just depends on the speaker you're using. Sometimes you can do it, meaning if there's a screw in the back, like they'll put a sticker over the back of the speaker, and then there'll be like a screw. If you peel the sticker off, there's a screw, you can unscrew it, and a lot of times the tweeter will come out. However, sometimes it won't, and it also depends where the tinsel leads are going through. If the wires go through the pole piece, that's great, that's super easy. But if it's like going through the cone into the tweeter, then I wouldn't do that.
what's up, Mike?
So you just kind of got to be careful with how you do that. We have done it in the past because sometimes we need just a 4-inch mid-range, and the tweeter gets in the way. So we'll pull the tweeter out and mount it next to it. We did that in a Porsche not too long ago. It was a lot of fun. It was nerve-wracking as hell. Hey, what's up from Iowa? How's it going, man?
I'm excited.
Oh, excuse me. That was good. That felt wonderful. All right, we good?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get back to work because we'll answer a ton of your questions tonight. Super excited.
6:30
Eastern Standard Time.
That's right.
All right, guys. You go. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tonight.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, Fernando. Did you figure out what was positive and negative?
Yes, I did.
How did you do it? Ask me.
I say. Oh, they talk to me.
Oh, you're the wire whisperer?
Oh, totally. Are you kidding me? It's like, can you please tell me which one? And then this one.
Oh, got excited? Dude, that's sick. No, actually, this is a common question. How do I know which one of these is positive and negative? And, so we've done a couple different things here that's going on. Obviously, you can pop the speakers, but we've already T-harnessed into this factory radio, which means I have wiring over here. And he doesn't want to get it wrong because the wire colors are already set. That means digital multimeter. Digital multimeter set to continuity, which is this cool indicator right here. He's going to take that black lead there. I'm going to walk around to the other side of the car where I have my wiring. So here, my DSP processor, which is a DSR1, is already mounted in place, plugged into, this is just sitting here, we haven't hooked it up yet. It's all sitting there and ready to go, and this wire is coming down from the factory harness. This is going to go off to the mid-range in the door. If I put my positive lead here, and he puts his negative lead on one of the wires over there, we get that sound right there, and that is telling me that he and I are both on the same wire, and this is my positive, so that would mean that's also going to be his positive.
My positive is you positive.
Positive. Negative.
That's right.
This can be used to do a bunch of different things, so like if we were having an issue where the speaker wasn't playing, we could then test our negative to make sure we have continuity between positive and negative. And that would let us know if we're doing exactly what we should. Wow, that new camera, man. Look at that depth of field. Isn't that neat? Ooh.
What?
The depth of field.
What?
See, and then, see, you're important now. And now my hand is important. And you're blurry.
That means I'm not important anymore.
You're always important. Here from Mexico. What's going on? You're positive. I try to be a positive influence on everyone's life.
Positive.
Except for my own. Anyways, that's what's going on here. So back to training up just a little bit. This is an Altima, and we're doing a DSR1. iData makes an Altima T-harness. So they make a generic Nissan T-harness, which is really nice. Plugs into the radio back here, has a positive, negative, or yeah, basically a female and a male. Basically, technically. And it comes with a long enough wire to run it down. Made a mount here. We did extend the speaker wires down because they're up here, and it's like really pain in the butt to get wire from here to here. The glove box, as you'll notice, is just chilling because you have to pull it out in order to get the wires from here to here. Getting this out, the trim back piece, because there's 4 10 millimeters that hold this in, is a pain also. So yay, fun there. But one of the things we're doing on this Altima is, you'll notice there's a speaker grill there, there's a speaker grill there, and of course there's speaker grills located in the rear deck. Now on the base model stereo, they give you the rear 6x9s in the front doors, but nothing in the rear door, which is great, you know, if you're trying to go loud. Callie in the house, what's happening?
Super Bowl is
But
there.
in this case, so we have already done half an install on this. So he's already got an R2 1200.1 Prime Rockford Fosgate installed, and he's changing it out. I mean, he's keeping that. He's got two P312s that are underneath this, and we're going to add over here a R504. And even though these are the screws that are all ready to go, because this is the amp rack here that is going to hold it, and these are the 3 screw holes. They're going to go in. I was just getting ready to wire it up. I have all my twisted wire. I'm going to full circle this. So people always ask, where do you get the wire? Pull it off the spool, and then you put it into the vise right there, and then you put it into a drill, you spin it, and you make all this wonderful wire. Now, the reason why we're talking about the rear 6x9s is we're taking those out, because that would be the factory subwoofer if this was the Bose system. And by removing those, we can now let the subwoofer have air into the car. And Fernando is adding 6.5s into here. So we'll have 4 6.5s in the door, plus the tweeters in the dash. And the bass will be able to use those giant holes in the rear deck to move air into the car, because he's not folding the seat down because he has a kid. The tweeters up in the dash, it has this little, look at that, dude, this car's like 3 years old and this thing is already shot. How cool is that? You can see where the sun is just kind of only faded partial, and the reason why it looks like that is that the factory grill actually covers this part. So we made these to mount the new Rockford tweeter up into the dash. How cool is that? So that's going to go on there. Orange white equals active tweeter. Correct. So what you have is you have gray, orange, white, orange. The white, the gray, the green, the purple are always going to be positives, and then we change the negatives out. So this is telling us it's either a signal or a mid bass. This is telling us it's a tweeter. And if we run a blue in there, that's going to tell us that's a mid-range. So we have a color scheme that we have in our brains. We'll also swap out the orange for yellow sometimes. Most of the time we stick with orange, just because right now yellow is hard to come by. Carpeted wood, good material for amp board. Yeah, I mean, you can make an amp board out of whatever you like. The reason why we use plexi is because obviously we can drill through it and, you know, put all the zip ties in. However, if you're going to do like a carpeted board, then, you know, you can get the zip ties that have the little holes in them like this and screw them down into place and achieve the same thing. So yeah, either way will work.
Now, for you to be able to put speakers in here, you gotta run a wire.
Yeah, hang on.
Because it doesn't come with a wire.
No. The nice thing is this boot is easy enough to get through. It's not a grommeted boot to where you can't.
It has a grommet, but it's not.
It's on the inside.
It's in the inside. It's not attached to the car.
So you can run through this without having to drill or do anything like that. There's his green wires. We're using green so that they match. You know, green, white, gray, purple. There'll be a purple over there. Our amp's going to mount there, so that purple will just hang out there. This green is going to come up and go into the center console. We'll grab it. The tweeter wires will come down into the center console also. And then we'll run from the back. We'll run a purple to here, but then green and the whites and the grays, both black stripe, orange stripe, will come up here and they'll catch in the center. So we'll have our main connection points. We try to focus all the points to a central spot just because it makes it easier if we ever have to go back in and troubleshoot it. So like if you have a connection point here, and one here, and one there, and one there, and one over there, and one there, and there. And it's like, it just trying to keep as few connection points and keep them all in the same place just makes it easier if you have to go back into the install at some point. Why does my volume knob stop rising at 21 when the limit is 30? Depends. Are we talking about factory or aftermarket? If we're talking about factory, it has loudness control in it, and it just doesn't get any louder past 21. If it's an aftermarket, you may have your gains on your amplifiers. If you have amplifiers turned up too high, there's a limit to everything. You can't push past it. Hello, everyone. I'm having trouble with my audio control. Mono amp is hooked up with the in-dash audio control. It was working fine at the beginning, and now it either the epicenter or the amp not giving me signal, I'm guessing. There again, you have to be able to troubleshoot these things to get inside. If you don't have a digital multimeter, can't help you, but you're going to have to see. If one of the reasons why we came out with the IRTA tool, which is our tool for doing RTA work electrically, is so that you can look at the electrical signal that's coming out of your radio into your processors, out of your processors into your amplifiers, out of your amplifiers off to your speakers. You can see that audio moving the whole way. You can do it with a digital multimeter too, set to AC, play a test tone, play a pink noise. Probably test tone would be better because you don't want it moving around a lot. A test tone will give you one fixed point. Don't have speakers hooked up to the amp while you're doing this because you'll do bad things. But you have to be able to test those type of things and figure out what's going on. Just like at the beginning of this video where Fernando, what were you doing with the wire to try to figure out what was positive or negative?
Yeah. I was like...
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Really?
So you have to be able to use the tools that we have in order to figure this stuff out. Good evening from the UK.
What's up?
I'm at work. Is there any way I can watch this later? Yeah, it's on Instagram. So all you have to do is go to 5-Star Car Stereo on Instagram, and all the videos that we've ever done are there. Or Instagram TV also has all the videos that we've done, because after a while we move them off of this. Or if you just want to watch a weekly recap, like you want to just watch them all in one sitting or listen to them in one sitting, every Monday on YouTube we do the Instagram 5-star recap video. So we take all these videos that we do here on Instagram, compile them all together in one long video that you can just sit at home or sit in the office or have play in the background or do whatever you want with, like a podcast, and just have it just playing in the background. So we make sure you have every opportunity in the world, if you're interested, to have access to it. Where can I get plastic you use for amp racks? Well, at DNF Tool Drawer, which happens to be the place where you can find the IRTA2, there is a plastic section or an install section that has plastics. I think it's literally just called plastic. So go to D&F Tool Drawer. Actually, DNF works too, but D&F Tool Drawer, and there's a plastic section. Believe it or not, Amazon sells the same plastic we buy because we buy big 4x8 sheets. There's places on Amazon that sell them too, that you can buy like 4x4, 2x4, 36x24. There's a bunch of different, you pick the size. Seriously, the camera you're using is phenomenal. It's an iPhone. Hi, Oscar.
Hey.
My amp is going into power protect mode when turning up the gain past 3. I have a 500 watt 4-channel.
Gotta be a short.
There again, kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the digital multimeter. Basic troubleshooting techniques. For one, if you're turning the volume up and how do you know you're not going into clip? Take all the speakers off of the amplifier. The easiest thing to do is take all the speakers off the amplifier. Find out where maximum distortion is on the radio. Start turning the gain on the amplifier until you have it right. If you don't know, like you say it's a 500 watt 4-channel amplifier, but really it's not going to be 5x400 watts. If it is 5x400 watts, they're lying to you. But what you can do is you can do the voltage test, which is this thing here you can download at Kicker. And what it's designed to do is tell you, it's the old-fashioned way with a digital multimeter. You play a test tone, you come over here and you say, let's say it's 50 watts or 100 watts. Let's say it's 100 watts. Let's be conservative, by 4 at 4 ohm. That's going to be 20 volts of output. If you play 1,000 hertz test tone with the speakers disconnected off the amplifier, you start tuning your gain up until you hit 20 volts. That'll be the maximum amount of power that amplifier can put out. But keep in mind, you need to fix the point on the radio. So let's say volume on the radio two-thirds of the way up, and you never go past that. But what you're going to want to do is get all those things figured out first, and then you can start applying your speakers to it. Eventually, one of them more than likely is going to shut the amplifier off, or all the amplifiers are going to, So if you have a digital multimeter, you can test continuity on the speakers to see if they're all reading the same ohm load, which should be somewhere around 4. So if you get 4 or 3.8, 3.8, 3.7, and like 1, that's telling you there's something wrong. You can also take your digital multimeter, and like at the beginning of this, when we tested for continuity on the wire to find out which one was positive, you can actually test a continuity to ground in the car. You could have a speaker that is perfectly fine, nothing visibly wrong with it, works, put it on the bench, works like a champ, but the voice coil is shorted to the basket, and the basket screws into metal, and the metal now becomes a ground, and then it's a short. It happens. It's fun. There's no doubt about it. It doesn't happen all that often, but there's a lot of things. But the digital multimeter will help you get there. Best temperature to seat steaks at. I don't eat red meat. Sear. Yeah, I don't know. I don't eat red meat, man. Chicken all day long, but don't know about that. 9-volt battery for polarity. Yeah, be careful. My LC 4.800 just showed up. That amp is truly small and great looking. Perfect. Okay, great. Thanks, man. I have a 2013 RAV4. What is the best sound deadening treatment in your opinion? There's a ton of great sound treatment out there. We use Roadkill, and we use Sound Digital. I'm sorry, Ground Zero, same company. Represented by the same company, not physically the same company. Anyways, we use the Ground Zero kit, 2-door kit. It comes with everything. That's kind of our premium piece. And then for Stinger is for all the bits and pieces. Like if we're just doing, like in this car, we're doing what we call the basic. I mean, each door panel gets a sheet of Roadkill, and then the door panel gets half of the Roadkill with the foam on it. You get what you pay for when you're playing with sound treatment. There's some really inexpensive, thin, useless crap out there that people buy, and it smells disgusting. And then there's the better stuff that doesn't and actually works and will stick and do all the other fun stuff. So when it comes to sound treatment, spend the money to get the right stuff. If you guys are having a great week, I wouldn't go that far. Wiring up a 4-ohm DVC 1-ohm. No, you're not. 12 gauge. I'm running in series. Will the 12 gauge wire be too big to double up on the posts? Couple. All right, there you go. Couple of 4-ohm. Yes. So when it comes to running a bunch of thick wires, you have to figure out, like, if you're going to put them on a post, something that big, you're going to need to solder, because it's going to be hard. If it's a post that has a screw that can attach, then what you'd want to look at is something like an 8-gauge ring terminal, because 2 12-gauge will fit in one 8-gauge ring terminal. They have the right size hole, so like this is an 8-gauge ring terminal here. You can fit 2 12s inside of this. Take off the little sleeve though, because that's going to be the problem. But like if you're running 2 8-gauge power, you can fit that into a 4-gauge and crimp it properly. But if you're gonna take a bunch of 12 gauge and then onto a speaker cup, it's way overkill, because the speaker cup is going to become your weak point, almost a fuse at this point, because it's not anywhere near the size of wire you're running. So that is going to be the bottleneck in the system. If you're putting a bunch of power through it, that's not going to work. That's why, when you look at Steve Mead's speaker cups, are these giant things with huge connecting points. Bobby Gately puts bolts through the side of the box. That's because they know they're going to be running 3,000 and 4,000 watts. If you're only running 5 to 1,000 watts through it, running 12 gauge to the speaker cup is fine, but after the speaker cup for all the subwoofer wiring, 16 gauge will do the trick. It's not, you don't need to go crazy, because the speaker cup you're overcompensating. It's not going to matter. But if you already got the wire, go for it, but you're probably going to want to solder.
Because you're too late.
I know. Is there any other than the Amp Pro GM61 IO5 non-Bose that work? No. Nav TV originally was going to sell you a new tuner, but then they decided not to do that. So I don't think they still offer the remanufactured tuner. It was way more than the Amp Pro GM61 would have been, which is toggle switch number 3. If you're worried about door chime, and you can find one. You can do a iData interface, which is non-Bose, and they sell the harness to plug in, and you can plug in a DSR1 and it'll control the chime level through the setup in the software, but it's just going to be high level into the DSR1. It's not mapping it out through the MOS bus. But yeah, that's it. Arturo, what's happening? Thought you said you're using a newer camera. Looks clean on my end. Oh no, this is a brand new iPhone, man. It's the brand new. It's the super maximum, yeah, whatever the hell they call that. I don't know. What's your favorite preset EQ setting on aftermarket radio? Jazz. On Kenwood, they have a jazz setting. On Pioneer, it comes powerful. We just leave it on powerful. Alpine comes flat. Their presets all suck, so I don't use any of those. On Kenwood, I use jazz because it has a nice bump in the mid-range that makes it sound good. Greens from Indonesia. What's happening? 80 in Phoenix. Not here. Do you guys resell the lab sold equipment as used? No, the lab sold equipment comes to us at Smash Force Productions. It does not go to 5-Star Car Stereo. So anything that we use in the lab comes to my business and is not resold as used, new. None of it. It just goes into the shelf for later use if needed, or goes to a giveaway or something like that. But it never gets resold. What we do is we take the product that we get in, even as much as Paul wants us to sell it to him, we don't. We mark the back so it gets lasered on the back so that we know it's not a normal product. This one is actually a prototype, so when it's a prototype, it'll say prototype. But like this is the prototype Epicenter Micro that just came out of Fernando's car. This hasn't gotten lasered on the back yet. It's scheduled to, so once this gets it, it'll stay there for eternity. And it'll never be resold, because a lot of the times when we get products, they're really early adoptions of them. So like this is the Prime R2 500.1. This came out. This is right before it came out. Eric was on the show, and as you can see, it has this. So we won't be selling that. But yeah, anything that comes in like that always gets differentiated between what it is. Some of the product also has to go back for the manufacturer. So for example, like these two radios here on loan from Kenwood and JVC, we're just waiting for them to be like, hey, we need our radios back, and we go, okay, thanks, and then they'll give us 2 new ones. So yeah, but that's how that goes. Plus I like to keep the stuff around, because if you guys have questions later, it's easier for us to just go into the cabinets, grab it, and then we can talk about it, as opposed to not having it and have to conceptualize. Now, like the new stuff we got in Monday, which is these guys right here. These are the new Radioactives. This, the 4-channel and the monoblock, this is a deal that we worked out with Ground Zero for the next series of videos we're going to do with them. And they asked if they could be giveaways. And we were like, of course. They're yours. We'll be more than happy to give them away. So when we get to those, sometime the end of March, early April, somebody's going to win those. So that'd be pretty cool. Nanocarbon Integras or hybrids? Integras for rear fill. Give me a good placement idea, please. Have a late 3-way up front, extended cab S10. If you could fit the nanocarbons and you're trying, like in the back of that S10, go for it. Yeah, if you don't want, like if you have a cool spot where you can put them and because they're that thin, yeah, go for it. You won't be disappointed. Trust me. The hybrid Integra is a great speaker, and if you had room for it, I would go with that. But if you don't and you're trying to fit it into a really crappy spot, it's what they're made for, man. Rock it all day long. Dean, so if you have $300, get an Epicenter Mini or a DSP? DSP. Always a DSP, unless it's that crappy one that I don't like. But yeah, no, yeah. They're going to do 2 different things, but at the end of the day, your DSP is going to give you way more control of the overall system than an Epicenter Micro will. An Epicenter Micro is just a really cool thing to make bass sound really fat. But that's me. So if you're happy with the way your system sounds now and you just wish you had more bass, then the answer is going to be Epicenter Micro. So 6 one way, half dozen the other. At a factory amp, do you want power before or after power? Okay, at a factory amp, do you want power before or after to power a sub? It's going to depend on your factory amplifier. A lot of these new cars with factory amplifiers, you can't get power before the factory amplifier because, for one, it's either over a data wire, it's a fixed voltage, meaning when you're turning up and down the volume, it doesn't change. So you have to go after the factory amplifier. In the case of being able to plug in like a Sub Pro from PAC, which is the subwoofer version of the Amp Pro, well, then that's what that is for, because that actually talks to the data before the amplifier and gives you a single set of RC outputs that isn't EQ'd and all that other crap thrown off, no bass roll off and otherwise. If you don't have access to something like that, then you have to go after the factory amplifier. So no free hat for me, Weber. I pre-ordered hour 1. You'll be fine. Thanks. We'll do not the sounds, deadening, cheer, keep up. Oh, no problem. What's your favorite preset? All right, we covered that. All right, let's just fast forward down here at the bottom. Oscar, well, I got 3 Impalas. Haven't decided yet, but more likely it will be my 04 Impala SS getting a full restoration. You need help, man. That's Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got Impalas.
Oh, she's gonna put a Bragg system.
Nice. When are you uploading part 2 of Installer Diaries with the Mustang? Tomorrow, Johnny. Yeah, so it'll be that. The way I think it's going to play out is that'll take us right into next week before we have to leave. So next week we leave Thursday for Knowledge Fest Vegas in the morning, so videos will kind of be preempted next week. I don't know what we're going to end up with, how many days you're going to have, but there'll be plenty of live content from Knowledge Fest, but I'm going to try to get all of that done before I leave so that I can have it all up and you guys can get the fun Install Diary Mustang, because I don't want you guys hanging for another week and a half. I mean, I don't mind personally. I think it's great because it's kind of how I grew up. It's like, I gotta wait a week before I find out what 2 is. Oh my god, that sucks. So, but no. Lexus ES350 amp. You got to test, man. Some of them are, some of them aren't. So no side jag next week. Correct. No side jag next week. Because that's Thursday and we'll be in Vegas. So no side jag or reverse polarity. I know. Sucks. I'm sorry. Dean. That was a very, very first piece of audio equipment you bought in your youth. Peerless Tweeters, I think. I think it was Peerless Tweeters. No cup running bolts, 10 gauge from amp. Can I do 16 gauge for the subs? Yeah, it'll be fine. You know, but there again, if it's 10 gauge, that's a pretty big wire. I don't know how big your amplifier is, but I mean, it all plays out. But you're talking short runs from that point, from the cup to the sub. And if you have it's just like if you're running it. So for example, if you have 10 gauge going to the cup, and it's a long run of 10 gauge, which we'll do if it's a long run. And then once you get to the cup, if let's say it's a dual voice coil woofer, we're gonna run the corresponding right size. So if it's getting wired up in series where we're gonna run, you know, parallel, we're gonna put a lead here and a set of leads here, we'll run 16 out to those. If we're gonna be doing series where we're gonna put a jumper across the back, we might go 12 gauge up to the speaker, a 10 gauge jumper across the back, and so on and so forth. It just depends on how long the distance is and how much power we're doing. Live video from the best damn there is. Oh yeah, that would be cool. We probably will. We'll have Brian with us. So, Dean, if we know this somewhat cool dude, he has access to all brands but won't build his car lab, how do we motivate him to do so? You don't, because even if I had time off, I wouldn't do it. I'd do something else. How did you go active back in the day without DSP? It was just all passive crossovers. So everything was just passive crossovers, or I'm sorry, everything was just active crossovers. So, for example, in my system back in the day, I had my full Orion system, had a 3-way set up front, had tweeters, extra tweeters in the dash, rear fill, and a sub. The tweeters were on a amp of their own, and that used an F mod, crossed over at a very high frequency. The 3-way in the door was ran off of a Orion 200 CRX that piggybacked into a 300 CRX, and that gave me the 2 bandpass channels I need so I could run tweeter full active, mid-range full active, mid-bass full active, and then out to the subwoofer, and then the rears were just capped. So, and then you just dialed it in and got it sounding the way you wanted. So, and through volume control, you would blend the tweeter with the mid-range and all the other fun stuff. That's how we did it. What's the best way to wire through a door? The best way is somehow magically getting the wire through the door. There is no awesome way to do it. If you can figure out what pins there are and you know where to buy them, which is hard to do, then repin it. Otherwise, you got to drill a hole. It's not fun. It's not fun. Dean's Mustang 2023 SEMA. Probably won't even have it then. Super short run, less than 18 inches from bolt. There you go. Yeah, you're fine. That'll work. Send it to me. I'll build it for you.
There you go.
Yeah, but then I won't have content.
Just go there and you can film it there.
Oh, just hang out in Texas?
Yeah.
You guys are great. Hey, listen, guys, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This has been 5 Minutes 5 Star. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Just end it on that. Fernando.
Bye, Fernando.
All right, I forgot to put on Do Not Disturb.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I figured there was, I mean, we've already talked to the girls today, so.
Are you going to call you and it's like, hey, do you need anything?
I know. We're stopping. Do you want something?
There you go.
I know. It's just going to be terrible. Oh, well. Good afternoon. Marty, what's up?
Oh, it's Marty?
I know. I need to text him back, make models and years for those. I suck, man. I'm sorry. He's not going to write it down right now. So
Marty, just write it down.
Write it down, Marty.
Yes. Nissan Altima 2018. And what else?
G35.
And the G35 2004.
And Ford.
And
what's Haley's?
Ford Escape
2018.
16.
Oh, it's an 18.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you own it, so you know.
Oh, yeah, I might. Come on, man. You got photographic memory, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. I'll text you. I'll text you on Monday. I say that now.
That's what you say last week.
Yeah, I know. Well, dude, I'm terrible. I'm the worst. I'm the worst.
Of course. Everybody knows that.
I know. Dude. Well, it's like I was telling you last night when we went out to eat and... Oh, look, dude, he's got it all right there. Yeah, 18 Altima, 04 G35, and 2018 Ford... Escape.
Ooh,
any one of those. We have access to all 3 of those. So pick one, and we're good. 2018 Ford Escape. That's Haley's car, so if we want her to drive crazy, let's go with that one.
Yeah.
But either one. We're talking about Turi.
There you go.
And Turi makes a cool product that we're gonna get to play with here soon, which has something to do with the throttle acceleration for the vehicle, and it's cool because you can buy it online.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. We'll find out more about it here and next week.
Yeah, that's right.
Next week, because we'll be at Knowledge Fest.
Knowledge Fest where?
Knowledge Fest in Vegas. Yeah, that's right. Turi Fast. So it's like truly fast, but it's Turi Fast.
So is Turi truly fast?
Oh God, shut up. What's up from Kentucky? 16 and light snow. 05 GMC 2500. Which fuse do I tap into so radio turns on with accessory and not on like it does now? Honestly, I've never tapped into a fuse on that car.
Any 15?
It's a 2005. It's 2500. I've never tapped a fuse in that car, so I have no idea. Oh, did it die?
It died.
The battery died?
No.
Cuss Marty now. Here, you can use mine. Thanks. Those are so kinky. That's a sweet soldering iron. He literally, I just read it. He goes, that's a sweet soldering iron, Nando. Aussie irons, yeah.
There you go.
Classic Aussie iron. Now we got the new ones. See, if you had a new one, like if somebody bought you a new one, then it has a battery light indicator on it, so you'd have known that you should have charged it.
What the
Instead
heck?
of just going,
Nobody told me that.
yeah, throttle lock, yes, please.
Oh, yeah, you can use it for your kids? Huh?
Okay. So, anyways, back to that 2005. Honestly, off the top of my head, I don't remember. If it has fat ignition wires at the key, that's where I would have got them. If it has thin ignition wires, then no, I would not. Always use wiper fuse for accessory. So there you go. Someone 05, always use wiper fuse for accessory. Give that a try. Check the wiper fuse. Use your digital multimeter. Sounds like someone needs the new Solder Master.
Oh.
Are you bringing those with you, Marty?
You got me on Master.
Yeah, if you bring them with you, I'll buy Fernando one. You know, but it's 3,000 RMS for bass loud. Actually, 3,000 watts doesn't make any sound. Like, check it out. Here is there's 5,000 watts right there, and it's quiet as could be. It doesn't make any noise at all. I know what you're saying, jerk. No, listen. 5,000, 4,000, 2,000 watts, depending on what kind of subwoofers you put it to, what kind of car it's in, what kind of box you build. Yes, it has.
What amplifier do you have?
It has the potential to be extremely loud. But it's just, it depends what you're hooking up to. And 500 watts RMS is also going to be loud depending on what you're hooking up to. Because I'll have 4 available. Do you want one?
4 available. There you go. Sold.
You want cash or credit? Moving on. You know what? Let's talk about what we're working on here real quick. Don't forget tonight we'll have, hey, does a subwoofer run at 4 ohms sound better at 1 ohm at the same power? No, actually it'll sound the same. Okay, that's actually a really cool question. That's why I stopped and want to answer that. The question is, will a subwoofer sound better? This is good. Does a subwoofer running at 4 ohms sound better at 1 ohm at same power level? So the subwoofer is going to sound like, it doesn't matter whether you have a 1 ohm sub, 2 ohm sub, a dual sub, a single sub, doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is the amplifier you're putting on them is what's going to dictate what the sub is going to sound like. And that is barring that you have the right enclosure. We're just assuming that the enclosure they're in is what the subwoofers need. So the ohm load of the woofer doesn't care, because the ohm load is what is dictating the power output of the amplifier. So if you have an amplifier that says its maximum ohm load, meaning the lowest ohm load you could play it at is 1 ohm, you're to assume then that if you put 1 ohm worth of subwoofers on it, you're going to still get as good of sound out of that amplifier as if you would have ran it at 2 ohm or if you would have ran it at 4 ohm. Your power output is drastically going to change. Okay, so that is obviously a factor in this. Now, some of the cheaper amplifiers do not perform as well as at 1 ohm as they would at 2 ohm, just because they're not built very well. You know, when you're looking at like a $150 amplifier that's 2,000 watts at 1 ohm, I don't know if I'd want to run that amplifier at 1 ohm, because there again, you could probably run it at 2 ohm and get a better performance out of it. The woofer isn't going to care. It's the amplifier that cares.
Right.
So I hope that answers that. Now on to what we're doing here. This is a 2021 4Runner, and it's in that awesome gray. Would you agree? So he listens to Alan Soundman, and we're doing a nice little upgrade in this. So we're doing a front stage upgrade, and it's all Kicker KS. We put the KS 6x9 mid bass here, the KS 3.5s up here, and then there's 4 KS 6.5s in the back here. They're just going to run off the radio. The front is going to run off of that Kicker key. Now from the factory, it comes with this little tiny 2.5, which is cool, which would have been fine. However, I sold them instead of 3.5s because I like the bigger 3.5, not realizing that I was going to occupy a lot of my time today. So these are the brackets we came up with to take and put a 3.5 where this 2.5 goes. So unbeknownst to me, they're different. So this is the passenger side. We did have to put a bend here, heat it up and bend it. And then this is the driver's side, which fit totally different than, so as you can see, they're two totally different brackets, which kind of caught me off guard because that's why we have extras, because I printed this one twice. And I was like, oh crap. And then I had to reprint this one because I needed to change the holes so that I could thread into this, because of the way we had to mount them, we had to mount them different. But either way, we got the 3.5s into the dash. And I know what you, well, where is it? Yeah. So it actually, the speaker comes up from underneath, fits into this hole perfectly. And then this point here and this point here are what screw the speaker in from the back side. And then this goes into the car like this and locks into place. Hey, do you have could you pop off like the driver's side for me real quick? And I'll show them what I'm talking about. Yeah, with your little red tool there. Yeah. Fernando's just finishing up here. He's getting the last of the fuse. We also put a Rockford P300.
What are we dropping?
The tweeter, or the mid-range in the dash. Mid-range in the dash. So he'll pop it off and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Can you hook pigtail RCAs to a factory amp? It depends on the factory amp. We'll talk about that in a second. So,
you need a light?
No, I got it.
Sure.
Yep. So as you see here, here's the 3.5 in the dash. These are your two factory screw points. They're bolted in. They're threaded into the plexiglass here. And what you're looking at is, you'll notice the metal for the speaker doesn't exist right here because it's mounted from underneath. So this off-color black is the 3.5 sliding up from underneath. And that's the cool thing about the laser, as you can see. It gets really, really precise on that. But then those guys fit up in there, mount from, and then it sits low enough to where the grill doesn't come anywhere near it, and it'll snap back into place. And that's it. Nope. I'll wait and do that when I'm done. Yeah. I'll wait and get back to that. So, green tape. Did the windows get tinted? Yes, the windows got tinted. That's the, you guys all seen this. Do not roll down. Yep. So, that's always fun. Do yourself a favor. If you're going to get your windows tinted, don't do it the same week you're taking your car to the car stereo shop. The door panels have to come off. It's just a pain.
It is.
Don't
do that.
Alright, what was the one I wanted to... can you hook pigtail RCAs to factory amp? So if we're talking about the input into the factory amplifier, let's say the radio output into the factory amplifier, there's a couple different scenarios that you have to check for. The first one is variable voltage output, meaning is there are two wires going into the amplifier that's a signal, one a shield or a ground and a positive, and as you turn the volume up and down, it goes up and down. Most current cars don't have that capability. It's a fixed, meaning the sound coming from the radio into the amplifier do not vary with voltage, with volume. They're actually controlled through a data system that when you do this on the radio, it actually turns the voltage, the volume, well, it changes the voltage in the amplifier, but turns the volume up and down. That's why things like Amp Pros and AR and Zens, those all exist, because they take the signal into that device, and then the same signal, data signal that is turning the factory amplifier up and down, they're also turning up and down that preamp section out to your amplifier, plus they are before any EQ, equalization or DSP or anything like that. So that's why like those products exist. Now, as far as going after the amplifier, can you solder RCAs onto them? Some amplifiers, some amps, the preamp input is both high level and low level. Like there'll be a switch on the side of the amplifier that you're like, for example, like a Rockford T series amplifier, I think the Kicker KS series amplifiers. There's a bunch of amplifiers where that input into the amplifier, Pioneer for one, is both high level and low level, in which case you take your high level output from your factory amplifier, solder RCAs onto it, and plug it in. But it is still high level and not low level. So that's where it gets kind of fun. Have you ever used the Focal BAM sound treatment? Opinions? We haven't used a lot of it, so I really don't have an opinion on it other than it's like the black hole stuff is really cool. I'm gonna get some of that for my car at some point.
Black hole?
Yeah. Greetings, gents. Great content as always. Question: what's your take on Powerbase cardio products? Do you install a lot of these? Appreciate it. I'm a big fan of Powerbase. Straight up, big fan of Powerbase. But like anything else, explanation why I'm a big fan of Powerbase. So, like this guy right here. This was actually going to be a Powerbase install in the beginning. That is what we were looking at. And then we changed it a little bit because we wanted to put the bigger 3.5s in the dash, plus budget, and things just got weird. But Powerbase makes some of the best plug-and-play speakers. Like, for example, like when you buy a Powerbase, it looks like this, and it's awesome. It goes in, it sounds better than the factory. You can amplify it. It makes installation real easy.
And they're affordable.
And they're affordable. And it's a definite sound improvement right away. Now, they also, it's like anything else. You have to know your market, meaning, or know the person you're putting them in and figure out, is that the right speaker? So, but no, there's a lot of situations where, yes, we'll be like, let's just do Powerbase. And, you know, like Powerbase on a key or Powerbase on a aftermarket radio or something like that. It just works really well together. So, yeah. All right, let's move down here. What user-friendly DSP can you recommend? I mean, honestly, the easiest DSP to use, in my opinion, is the audio control, but I'm probably jaded just because I could program it in my sleep. I've done so many. The Helix DSP software is a little bit steeper learning curve, but some of the best DSP software as far as feature set goes. It's a real deep feature set. Alpine, Museway, Nakamichi,
Yeah.
What is it? Hold on. Never remember the company. Audio Dynamics. A lot of those guys all use the same software. Super easy to use as far as I'm concerned. But they all use the same software. They just move stuff around a little bit, but it's all the same. The Alpine stuff is really nice. Sounds great. Software is one thing. Product build is another. So I'm just talking about software right now. But yeah, that's the easiest way. But the cool thing is, like, all of this you can download to your computer and just play with. JL also makes DSP software. It's a little bit hard to use in the beginning. Some people have a hard time with the whole setup process. But once you figure it out, it's pretty nice. I like their software too because it has 2 display outputs, so you can actually have 2 EQ curves up at the same time, which is really cool. That way, like, if you don't have to keep switching back and forth, it's kind of cool. Can you get accurate bass from a ported box, or is sealed box better? So the thing about like a ported box is going to have punchy bass. That's just what it does because that's what the port's for. At that tuning, when it hits, boom, gets a little bit punchier. If you're applying EQ to it, you're gonna get the sound. Like, if, for example, like if you have 2 EQ settings, one for punchy bass, one for not bass, it's not like the subwoofer is not gonna put out those signals that you're trying to get it to put out. It's louder at a certain frequency, which is what most people want out of a sub. So, like, if you look at like sound from, let's say, 20 hertz to 120 hertz, okay, and you look at a sealed box, you look at a ported box. A sealed box is going to be more uniform level output from that frequency range, whereas a ported box is going to have a peak or a rise. All right. So if you go in and you want ported 80% of the time, just because, but then you want to do some SQ stuff. And I don't mean like to compete. You just want to like get your friends in there and like really feel that. Well, then you can do a separate tune that brings that box rise down in line with it more of a sealed box style. It's granted you're EQing it, so you're fixing something as opposed to just letting it be natural. But it's one of those things where you're splitting hairs. So can you? Yes, because it's going to put out the sound, but you're going to have to pull a lot down to get it to do that. So I don't know. I like the best of both worlds. Jeff Smith comes in and goes, Helix for the win. I wonder why. But no, hey, we're a Helix dealer now, so sealed is cleaner. There again. What we just said. Nah, cause it makes me want to spend more money on them. My 4R 2022, this guy, are the best. There you go. This is a pretty gray, too. It's so pretty. I'm a big fan of gray. Dean, I told you I couldn't find the right harness for my 2001 Elite, but Metra does make it. 7306, no cutting of harness. There you go. One other thing, too, that is, we've known this for a while, we just don't talk about it. As far as T-harnesses go, Pack, for the Best Kits line, is coming out with a bunch of T-harnesses. The new Amp Pro for Ford, the BO system, is also starting to ship. We ordered 4 of them the other day, so we won't have to use the Zen A to B. We can try the new Pack piece, which is cool because you can pull the factory amplifier out with that. Thank God, because the thought of leaving the factory amplifier in is just a nightmare for me, and I don't want to do that. But no, so we'll get our hands. We ordered 4 of them the other day, so now that we have them coming, we won't have an F-150 to try them on, right? Isn't that how it always goes? So that kind of sucks. But yeah, so Amp is working on some T-harnesses. Once we get a couple in, we'll talk about them. Maybe. We'll see. See how I feel. Fernando, who's going to win between
LA?
America? Yeah, whatever.
Oh, America, of course, man.
Soccer?
That's soccer.
That's your team, though, right?
Yeah. America all the way.
Team America. Go. It was a movie, wasn't it? What's a good monoblock amp for single 10 type S Alpine? Okay, so 500 watts would be perfect. There's a lot of 500 watt amplifiers out there. It really depends what you want to do as far as you want. Do you want to hide it? Are you hooking it into a factory radio? Do you have all the room in the world? So, for example, if you're hooking up to a factory radio and you're like, I don't want to deal with bass roll-off. I don't want to deal with equalization. I don't deal with none of that nightmare. Well, go for a Key 501 kicker because that'll fix all that crap. But, you know, I don't want to spend that budget. All right, well, then you got like a Rockford R2, this guy right here. This little guy right here. You know, that's a nice little 500 watt amp. It's reasonably priced. But the 500 watt amp is kind of like the money shot for all amplifier manufacturers, except the one, which I kind of yell at them every time. I go, why don't you guys have a 500 watt amp? Well, we got a 300 and an 800. And you need a 500. But there's a ton of little 500 watt amps. Yes, Jess chimes in, Mr. Pack himself, and says, Lock Pro Harness, LPH. So, Jeff, you know who you need to talk to. There we go. The AP4 FD31 BO. BO Unleashed. With Sync 4. Unleash the beast. You know, if you put some, like, Sure deodorant, secret, you know, strong enough for man, made for a woman, you won't have to worry about the BO unleashing itself on you. Just saying. Thanks for the good amp info. No problem. Hey, it's Saturday.
It is.
Oh, it's a factory radio. So I check out that Key 501. It's what we're, you know. Yeah. It's funny. Fernando goes, why do we have those 3 key boxes right there? I was like, well, some of them are in Haley's car. And then I don't know where we got the rest of them from, but we, you know, kicker. Yay. So we have to take the Key 501 out of Haley's car because she's got the Kenwood radio now and put something else in there. We just don't know. We might do Kenwood.
Yeah, I thought with this.
I think we're going to do Kenwood. I don't know, though. I'm going to leave that one open because I'm anxious to see what...
that one, too, to put on.
What's that?
This.
Yeah, well, I'm also anxious to see what Focal wants. So the new Auditor stuff just came out, and they have an amp.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to do like a full Auditor system in her car.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That would be pretty dope.
Yeah.
I can't believe I just said pretty dope.
It's dope, bro. It's dope.
So dope. All right, what football teams winning the Super Bowl, guys? I know you guys are all big football fans, right? who and karate. It was just, I mean, we're all just like, yeah, football, woo, yeah, give it to me. Who's winning the game, the Tigers or the Antelopes? Who's winning it? That's all I want to know. Tigers or Antelopes? Who's gonna win? I got Cincinnati tomorrow. Oh, there you go. Look, he's on top. When setting up Aftermarket Radio, what settings should I use? What loudness setting? Loudness is a wonderful thing, all right? I love loudness. I am a super fan of loudness. And the reason why is because I like listening at normal listening levels a lot of the time. So loudness adds impact to the music. As you turn the volume up, the loudness rolls away. If your gains are set up properly, loudness is fun. I don't go crazy on it, though. I usually, if there's a low setting, I go to low. If there's a medium, I'll go medium, but I never go high because that's just too much and it starts to sound muddy and break apart. Don't go high. Don't go high. Like the guys out back right now, they're having a concert in the parking lot while washing a car for 4 hours. So it's pretty amazing. But yeah, I'm a big fan of loudness. That's one of the things that I'm anxious to play with in the Helix software is they have a built-in loudness feature. And if you guys watch the video we did with the BMW Up 7 with Mr. Jason Digos, that I spelt his last name wrong, he talks about that and how, because he doesn't have a subwoofer knob, because at full volumes the sub is doing what it needs to, but really at low volumes is where he wants that impact because it's low volumes in our ears and the whole tuning thing. And yeah, we'll talk about that some Monday for sure. That's my plan. And so the amp has it built, the DSP features, so if it's in the amp, it's, you know, whatever. It has that, which is cool because I want to play with it. You know, I want to have at normal listening levels that impact, but then as I roll it off, my subwoofers don't want to just die because I'm beating the crap out of them. All right, so here we go. We got Rams. All right, so 2 Rams, Bengals, Rams. Jeff says Rams all the way.
I
Bengals.
thought you say the Bengals are gonna win.
Who? Me?
No, Jeff.
Jeff? Oh, he changed his mind. Apparently he's an LA guy. What do you think of Zapco DSP amps? I really don't have a thought on them. We didn't have, like, we have the Zapco right there. We never got the software to work, so I don't know. I'm leaving that one open to, we'll hopefully see at some point.
I mean, Jeff knows.
All right, so where do we go? Any more? Oh, that was it, huh? Yeah, that's about what I was expecting. It's like 5 guys. Hey, football, yeah, that's thing. Is that with that tan ball? Yeah, but it's not round. Kenwood Exelon anything. I mean, if you're saying yes, I'll take Kenwood Exelon anything. Big fan. But we should find out some of the new stuff. I was happy they won the last 2 games, but the Rams, capital R-A, are a better team overall. What is it with you guys? Can't you just root for the, like, be like,
no, I mean,
you don't want to.
They did a wonderful job. Now they're in their Super Bowl. Unfortunately, the Rams have a better team.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you can't vote for the loser?
No, I'm not.
Or
you're happy that they made it, but
I don't know. You're weird. You guys.
They're not gonna make it all the way. Sorry.
So just screw them. I just want to watch the halftime show. Screw the game. All right. All right, so our debate today was why in the hell is Kendrick Lamar, who I don't know, is going to be on the same field as Dre, Snoop, and Eminem?
Chill, Dean.
I'm perfectly chill. No, that's Cincy. Bengals, bro. That's Bengals. I'm perfectly chill. I get any more chill, I'm going to fall asleep. I mean, you're going to have to go out and tell these guys to turn their shit down so we can tune this car. Joey B, coolest white guy in the world.
Yeah.
Football. Rams are Raiders fans. Oh my gosh. I love you guys. I really do. You guys are the best. Hey, listen, speaking of the best, tonight at 6 o'clock, and like that clock is wrong. It's off by 5 minutes. China.
It's a China time, really?
It's China time. Make sure you tune in to 5 Star Car Stereo Network. We'll be doing our Saturday show like we always do. So we'll see you guys. We got to get this thing out of here so we make it on time this week. You guys have a great time. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye, guys.